Yeah, thank you for the nice introduction, Sam. I'll be here today to share with you some more information about our previous training activities, as well as to give you some forecast about any further steps and future activities related to training and regional activities. So, let's move on. Optionally, some of you remembering on the beginning of our training activities a few years ago. We have been started with face-to-face trainings at the beginning, only with smaller groups between 15 and 25 participants. Then we increased the number of trainings from time to frequent and monthly trainings. Afterwards, we focused on our main membership countries and bigger classes up to 50 trainees. And in these days, we thought that was already a revolution, of course, with all the member support to host and having us with conference and training rooms. The transition. With the 2020 revision of TSR and FSR, we have changed also the training concept globally to a modular approach and have been splitted the programs into different topics. Beside that, we have rolled out and developed as well a professional management software to follow our training sessions and to write the different standard examen. But then the pandemic reached us, and as we couldn't continue and perform any longer with face-to-face trainings, our backbone, especially within the 2020 revision cycle of standards. And that was a nightmare for all our members and as well for us as TAPA. And we have had just scheduled the biggest face-to-face training period in our history, of course related to the authorized auditor qualification, which has been required since that 2020 revision. So we react and moved on with virtual trainings. The first ones, and test-wise, I remember on Blue Jeans, roughly 75 trainees. Before then we continued with a capacity of 120, and finally we decided, due to our member needs, an increase the max number of participants up to 180 per course by end of 2020. And that was personally for me a revolution, 180 participants. And I remember on 20 in the beginning up to 180. In these days we have had always between 5 and up trainers available to present and react on the chat questions, as well as to give always a prompt support on every topic. But we have seen as well that our workload of the voluntary trainers was by far too much to continue in that style. So we had to react on that as well. Besides that, we would offer our member much more flexibility for joining our trainings. In mind of that idea has been born to record our trainings, and we have kicked that off and initiated it exactly 1 year ago. Of course, especially in that days when the figures went up and travel restrictions have been occurred, we remember all of that. But we were able to arrange it before Europe locked down and the borders have been locked and closed end of last year. With this change in mind, of course, due to the pandemic impact, over the last roughly 18 months, we could at least increase the number of trainees, as Thorsten mentioned already this morning, for our FSR, TSR and PSR standards by approximately 5 times compared to 2018 and 2019. Today we can say that we have trained and qualified with this virtual and recorded training solutions more than 3,000 members on our 2020 standard revisions. And with these figures, I want to thank as well the entire team of the EMEA trainers, as well as our dear admins, who are always taking care about all the registrations, all the workload, for their continuous engagement in the background. At the end, the new training course material has been developed to enable you to train at the pace which meets your needs. Therefore, you no longer have to free up 2 days of your time. Simply register for the desired course, and once the approval process is completed, you will be assigned the course whenever it fits for you. And that's the benefit. That's the benefit Thorsten has mentioned this morning. And in case you have any questions whilst you are working through the course, just simply use the message tab in the tool and raise your questions. So these questions will be answered immediately, reviewed whilst our monthly workshop webinars, where we will address any questions which have been asked. We will go through the case studies, which will form part of the training material, and finally we are guiding and preparing the trainees for the course exam to complete the course. And by the way, in the meantime we initiated as well that all current registered active trainees will get a frequent invitation for these training webinars. So there's no need any longer to register somewhere. We are forwarding on a month-to-month basis a Teams invitation to all registered and current learners who have started their course. So we have Rajat in the background, we have Tamara supporting us on that. So we are going always a step forward. But beside performing the trainings, writing the storybooks, initiating the records, to give our members the utmost flexibility to join the courses, we have also a lot of fun whilst recording the training sequences. I'm getting smile only to think on that. Some of you have optionally seen our outtake already, but in case we do not want to withhold it from the others, have fun and stay tuned what our trainers have explained sometimes between the lines and in front of the green wall. So let's have a look what our captain has taken out of the roughly 30 hours of recorded material. Have fun. Mann!
To jest Elrosity. Prinz
The dialogue, but... Minute noch! That will bring us to happiness, huh? Mal Bier.
Wir hatten mal noch einen mehr nehmen sollen gestern, oder wie war das?
Unauthorized.
Hast du gerade meine Aufnahme zerstört?
A, B oder C?
The system will have a power supply which is
Swedish.
okay, wenn sie wegbleibt, ist ja alles in Ordnung. That fly.
This fly.
Meine Freundin ist wieder da.
Ey Mann, und den habe ich mir so gut zusammengenudelt mit dem Maggi hier.
Wer mit Bananen bezahlt, bekommt Affen.
You little.
Stay taparized.
At least you have seen, we had fun. And what we have learned today, if you pay with bananas, you get monkeys. So that's my lesson for today. Hope you enjoyed it. That brings me direct to the future of training, where we have already started to initiate the translation of our storybooks and support you from next year ongoing with subtitles of the original trainers of voice. Currently I expect, and you can see on the screen, we will finalize the translation of the subtitles and launch them also in a chronological order you just see on the screen. From February 2020 ongoing. That's right now our current plan. But of course, we will keep you up to date as soon as the first programs are ready to use. So stay tuned. We have already some languages and a lot of work, but feel free also to contact us if you need more, if you have any other ideas. We are open. Share your feedback. As you have optionally heard in our Monday session together from the IWO that we have initiated a few years ago already, two kind of driver training options. These online driver trainings are also still available on the IWO webpage, together with a special discount for our TAPA members. Please find also more details about that on our standards and training webpage. Related to this topic, we have provided this year also the first time our own approximately 4 hours training and sensibilization program, especially for drivers who carrying our goods, the theft critical cargo. So if you have an interest on an individual member-related driver or employees training, then please let us know, and we would be happy to support you as well on that. In the meantime, we also do some further investigations. What kind of system-related support or alternative online options are on the market for spreading the message and support especially our drivers. Finally, we rolled out this year as well our remote audit trainings together with Jeff Dawson. This course combines theoretical and practical training and consists of 2 group workshops, culminating in a real-life audit for maximum 12 participants, which will allow you also to use all the skills you have learned. By the way, the next course will take place again on the 16th and 17th of December. And we will open the webinar registration soon. So together with an information message and reminder by next week. Last but not least, as always needed to get support, and we need supporters. I want to special thanks also our long-term supporter Wilfried Wirtz Trucking for their continuous support of TSA vehicles, knowledge for our TSA, the remote auditor trainings, or lecture at the University in Bremen. So we need support from our members, and we will also come back on that. So support us, help us. Other activities, especially it comes now to the regions, as Thorsten has mentioned already. Together with our regional trainers, we could also initiate this year again a success story about regional and local support. The current Italian, French and Russian trainer teams have really invested a lot of time to support on translations, increasing our local footprint related to the standards. As we have this year also invited the first time regional non-member guests to our local trainings. Of course, without an option to get the authorized auditor qualification and access to our Talent LMS training tool, but to learn about our standards and to get their interest. It was really beneficial. I remember only the Russians have invited 160 participants, 160 guests. At the end, we had roughly 70, but it was a success. We could spread the message. Further, we will initiate also now our local point of contacts per region. These long-term members will be your local point of contacts in each our current regions. So in France, we reached out to, or we have convinced Celine Lubrano. For Italy, Dario Novella will be your local point of contact. Elias Molonsev will take care about our Russian local members. As well as we have catched up again a good contact to our South African chapter, where we will also start again to initiate further steps together with André Duvinage. Further, and that's our goal for next year, we want to also increase our footprint in Spain. May I choose directly this opportunity to reach out especially to our local Spanish members about any interest of support, to spread our message related to our standard supply chain resilience locally on the Iberian Half Island. So if you're interested, please drop me or info the message or message the info, and we will guide you what we would like to proceed. Finally, we have also discussed already together with the local teams to initiate and schedule local language webinars at the beginning of next year. So stay tuned, and we will return early January with a webinar agenda to invite all our locals to the regional webinars. Especially we will start in France, in Italy, and in Russia. We will cover equal topics. We will also invite some local speakers. So stay tuned, and we will come back on that early January. Training feedback. Yeah, we have heard already from Thorsten a lot this morning. We are doing also a survey after each and every training. So as I want to come closer to the end of my presentation with some of feedback from our dear members related to the new train at your own pace. I personally think that these initiate steps have been taken at the right time. It was a must, we had to do this, but it also does not mean that we will never provide any face-to-face trainings. So as soon at the end, as soon as we are coming closer to a normal, I think then we are also returning to kind of face-to-face trainings. Whatever that means. So we are working on that, we will keep you informed, and as soon as we have the option again, then we also come back on any related topics. Investments connected with special thanks. You have seen in the Vigilant also our last investment. We invested in 2021 as well into a full Tier 1 equipped sprinter van to support our current members on local trainings and of course to promote and spread our message. Hopefully we can use it again on exhibitions and fairs in the future. But special thanks for the locking and alarm system installations which have been hosted and installed by Multi-Protection. It has taken time to prepare everything, but at the end it works excellent, fine, and thanks again to Multi-Protection for their support. Finally, and a wrap up, a summary. We will give you much more support on trainings related to different language options. We will increase our local activities in the mentioned regions together with support of our local trainers and our supporting teams. So we will also connect future training certificates as well with our future CMS and CM data bank and tools to initiate an easier tracking of the company certificates and the authorized qualified auditors. That's on our agenda. We have a lot of work, we have a lot to do, we have a lot of things on our screen. Enjoy us, support us, and go with us in this direction. At least that was an update from my end related to training and to standard related topics of the local activities.